Honourable Member for Etobicoke-Mactaquac.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it gives me mixed emotions to rise today in the House on this subject. Our hearts are full of stories of those. I don't think there's hardly a family that isn't touched by those who are battling with mental illness in some form or shape at some period or juncture in their lives. And the mere thought that MAiD could be extended to those battling with mental illness is beyond disturbing. I believe Canadians from coast to coast are in agreement that this is an extension that goes way too far. And I stand today and rise today in this House as one who definitely will support this bill, Bill C-39, to delay the further extension of MAiD to those with mental illness. And with that pause and with that delay, I hope that the government will take advantage of that space and time to finally put in place adequate safeguards to protect our most vulnerable.
Yes.
It's been said that the character of a nation is revealed in how it treats its most vulnerable. Right now, the character of our nation is being tested. And how will we respond to this time of testing? Will we rise to the occasion to help our fellow man, our fellow humans, our fellow neighbors and friends who are battling and who are struggling? Will we respond to their anguish? Will we respond to their pain? Will we respond to the cries that are going forth from many across this country right now who are under increased strain mentally? Many are coping and trying to self-medicate. It's led to addictions in their life and further mental health struggles. We're seeing a rise in depression and anxiety and other types of mental illness that's moving across the country at a very rapid rate, and to younger and younger Canadians. Our hearts are moved with this. And I think the importance of this delay cannot be overstated. But let us not just delay this for another year and then have to revisit it again and have this debate again. Let's move with urgency towards putting in the necessary safeguards to protect our most vulnerable. Canadians are demanding that we respond. We've had many examples of the overreach and the overextension of this, where veterans have been offered and advised to utilize medical assistance in dying. This is something that should never happen for those who are our heroes and have served and are in a time of post-traumatic stress or in a season of anxiety and depression, that we know with adequate support, with proper care, can traverse to the other side of that deep valley they may be in temporarily. I have family and friends that have had these bouts. I have seen the effects of mental illness in very deep and profound ways. And in my time, in my previous vocation, I have rushed to a bridge where someone was on the edge, considering taking that step of ending their lives. I've been called to a dam in my area in the dead of winter to respond to someone who had reached their end. I am very thankful, Madam Speaker, that I can report to this House that both those individuals, and this was some time ago, have moved on with their lives. And they're living. And they're enjoying their lives. And they've made some very positive changes. I am so thankful that in that moment they chose life. And I am very thankful that at that time, medical assistance in dying was not extended to those who were battling mental illness alone. Madam Speaker, this House must put in the adequate safeguards that are needed. Experts are telling us very clearly that this should not be extended to those battling with mental illness solely and alone. because there's no way they can adequately respond or determine if the mental illness is irremediable. So with that uncertainty, with those legitimate concerns coming from health professionals and the majority of doctors and physicians across the country, it would behoove this House to not only pass this bill and give the delay, but take immediate steps to implement adequate safeguards to protect our most vulnerable. I pause in just a moment upon probably one of the most famous of passages that has ever been quoted in times of stress and duress for many people. It's oftentimes featured in movies. It's pretty well most funerals that we attend. It's a verse of great comfort. It says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." Death casts a very big shadow, and those of us who've lost loved ones know that pain and grief very well. And those who've lost family members and loved ones to suicide know how dark and deep that shadow is. But there is hope, Madam Speaker. And when we are traversing the very valleys of the shadow of death, it is a valley that we can pass through and come through on the other side. And even those who are battling with mental illness, depression, and anxiety, though it may feel permanent in the moment, there are many, 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 many people who have traversed that valley and come out on the other side with hope and light again in their hearts and in their souls. And primarily, it's because they came to the realization that they were not alone.
Yes.
They have loved ones that were with them. They have family that cared for them. They had neighbors that extended a hand. They had those that would run in when everyone else ran out of their lives. And when it looked darkest, someone lit a candle in their night that brought hope. And Madam Speaker, I am thankful for those who brought light to me in darkened times of my soul. I hope that everyone in this room will take this pause that this bill will grant this House and be a light in a darkened place for those who are hurting and extend the hope that is in the valley of the shadow of death. We don't have to fear, but we can walk with people through that most difficult of seasons in their life. Let's bring hope. Let's bring life. Let's not encourage death or a culture of death. Let's foster a culture of hope and life for those who most desperately need it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Well said.
Appreciate it.